everybody, and welcome back to Time to Go. Today we're going to be looking at a really interesting watch from a company that is famous for their homage pieces. That company is Steinhart, and we're going to be looking at the Steinhart Nav-B, the 44mm in bronze. Now, this is a little different than the typical homage pieces they do where the, say the Ocean Ones are a direct homage to a particular Rolex. This is an homage to the World War II issued pilot's watches for the German Air Force. Now, there was 4 or 5 companies that made them for the Air Force at that point in time. There was Vempy, Laco, A. Lang & Son, there was IWC, there's another one that I think I'm missing. So this isn't quite exactly like any of those, although it definitely takes its inspiration from them. But let's spin the camera and we'll take a closer look at the Nav-B 44mm. Okay guys, so before we start, I just wanted to apologize for my voice. I know it's a little bit rough. I've had a cold for the last couple of weeks, so we're going to kind of have to try to power through here today a bit. Now, just want to give you guys a quick wristwatch check. In keeping with the aviation theme, I have the Hamilton Khaki Pilot on. I absolutely love this watch, and I love Hamilton in general as well. This watch is actually keeping the most accurate time of all of my collection. It gains about 1 to 2 seconds per day. I know that may not be the case for all of these watches, but I think I got lucky on this one. And also in the background, if anybody's curious, I have these aviation style sunglasses. They are made by Smith, and they are Smith Serpicos. Now, on to the watch. I'm just going to start this off by going through some of the basic specs of the Nav-B. The case diameter on this watch is 44 millimeters. We are looking at a 22 millimeter lug width. Lug to lug is 52 millimeters, and the water resistance is 30 meters. Now, I was recently on the Steinhart site, and the latest version of this looks like it's a 50-meter water resistance, so it's a little bit better. But this particular one is 30-meter water resistant. Now, in keeping with the aviation theme, the dial of this watch is obviously very clean and legible. The only extra printing on the dial would be a small Steinhart logo at the 12 o'clock position, as well as it's written Steinhart just below that. And in small print, there is Swiss made at the 6 o'clock position. Now, in low light, this dial has a black look to it, although when you take it out into the sun, it's actually a slate gray with a bit of a sunburst effect. When it comes to the lume on this watch, Steinhart is using Super Luminova. Almost all markings on the watch are lumed. I'll put a picture up here now so you guys can see that. The only parts of the watch not lumed would be the Steinhart logo as well as the subdial for the small seconds. The hour, minute, and second hand is also lumed. And one question I have, and maybe you guys can help me out, is I'm not sure if the hands are stainless steel painted to look like bronze or if they actually are bronze. I really like the look of them, and particularly the minute hand, how it reaches out to the minute markers, just increases the legibility of this watch. Now, before we move on to the case of this watch, I just want to point out the crystal on this watch is sapphire. It has a slight dome, and it is double AR coated on the underside, although it must not be the greatest quality coating. You can see here, hello, it does have quite a lot of reflection. At this price point, it's not a huge big deal to me, but just wanted to point that out. Now, the case is 100% solid bronze. It is starting to get a patina. This watch is almost 2 years old now. The watch brand new was quite a bit brighter and shinier, and I'll show a picture now actually of what it would look like new out of the box. But I quite like the patina, and I've seen some of these that are almost turning black, and I think they have kind of a cool look as they age. So from what I understand, bronze can be an irritant to your skin. So if you flip the watch over, you'll see that the display case back, The outer part of the case back, that is stainless steel, which keeps the bronze from making direct contact. Now, you're also going to see here, we have quite a beautiful movement, especially for this price point. This is an ETA Unitas 6497-1. It's a hand winding movement. As you can see, there's no rotor. It is decorated with Geneva stripes and blued screws. I just love looking at this movement. This is my only hand winding movement, and it's kind of nice to have the rotor out of the way so you can see how everything functions. And it's cool to just watch the balance wheel working away. Now, I'm going to give this a quick wind so you guys can hear the action on this. It's got a very satisfying wind. And while we're on this part of the watch, the crown, I've kind of shied away from onion crowns in the past. I thought they'd bug my wrist. They seem like they might be easy to damage, but I have had zero issues with this crown. I don't notice at all while I'm wearing this watch. One thing that kind of surprised me with this watch was the quality of the leather strap. It is a very thick leather, but also very soft. The stitching is extremely well done, the contrasting white stitching, and the buckle, it's a very heavy duty bronze buckle with a bronze pin as well. And if you can see here, it is signed Steinhart. Now, I find this to be a very comfortable strap. So I know this is a bit of a bigger watch, so let me just put it on so you guys can see how it fits my 7¼ inch wrist. Okay, so I think this thing looks awesome on wrist. The two things I would have liked to have seen improved, but for this price you can't expect the world, but the water resistance would have been nice to be a little bit higher, as well as the AR coating is a little on the weak side. But for this price, the build quality is just awesome. It's got a very reliable movement, and they've nicely decorated it as well. And I like the bronze. I think it's neat to have something a little different in the collection, and it's kind of cool that it'll change over time. So let's spin the camera back around and we'll wrap this up. Alright guys, so the last thing I want to mention before we go is about the company Steinhart itself. While doing the research for this video, there was a ton of cases of people that either had a customer service question or a different issue, and they were actually able to get Gunther Steinhart, the founder of the company, on the phone or via email, and I think it really speaks a lot for the company when the founder and owner is available to his customers. I just love that, and I thought I'd mention that. So that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.